It is October 3rd, 2024, and I'm talking with a customer of mine about the upcoming presidential race and his opinions on what is going on. Go ahead.
So definitely a different year as far as elections go. You have a female on the representing the Democratic side, and you have a Republican on the or a male on the Republican side, Trump versus Harris. And the reality of the situation is that if those two were to work together as instead of running against each other, it would be a perfect fit, in my opinion, for this country and what goes on as far as the business end and the leadership. I think that Kamala Harris would be a better president as far as a lot of different issues, but Trump's business smarts and business end would be is phenomenal, and what he does business wise for the economy and stuff like that is hands down compared to what we've been seeing in the past 100 years is phenomenal. But as we all know, he doesn't do too well with the public opinion. But Kamala Harris is very professional and very opposite of Trump as far as public opinion and aggravating people, and she's very savvy business wise as well. But it's going to be different, just like the 2016 race was, and we don't really have as the people, we don't really get to throw those people out there for elections who we'd like to, you know, run. It's always fed by the political parties and who they want to represent. And so it's interesting. We get to vote, but we never really get to say of who we would like to, put in that position to begin with.
Because of the Electoral College and the money nomination situation?
Exactly. And it's just, they really need to incorporate us a little bit more. Maybe we need to take more action and get ourselves involved in getting people in those positions, because closed mouths don't get fed, and it's really they kind of cater to themselves, and then they want to buy votes or persuade their votes, and it's not really, they just kind of cater to themselves, and it always ends up in the mess that we're in currently.
Well, I think it goes back to what type of person wants to be president, what kind of person makes their life political, where they have to vie for office like every 4 years, or they're in a position where they have to run for their job, basically.
Right.
And then in those positions, they find they're not as powerful as they thought they would be.
Right. Right. That is very true. That is very true. Because even the president has only so much, say. You can't just make all these moves without, Congress and the backing of everything else. But it's funny you say that, because if you look at the presidents that we've had throughout the years, and some of the better ones noted, in the more the controversial times of our country, they never really wanted to be president. They were kind of pushed in there just because of the way they carried themselves. And it's really easy to me to fill those positions. And you look into, and that's just going back to like bare essentials, like whatever it is that you believe in, and you go back to the basics of what kind of person they are and how they carry themselves, foundation wise, is really says a lot. And
are they in touch with the average American?
Yes, they are. And you don't really see those people, in my opinion. Is people that Ronald Reagan was a great example of that, because he was a Hollywood actor, and he was, a lot of people don't agree with the political stuff that he did, but the Reaganomics were, hands down, that was a good stepping stone for our country as far as movement and just good, necessity basics that needed to be done. And no, and you bring that up, both sides will agree on that. Democratic, liberal, whatever it is, they all agree on the Reaganomics as a a good focal point for this country. And it's just one. I really got to go back to this, and I'm not trying to make this and mix this, but one nation under God, you know, to whatever that means to you. But it's pretty simple. If you go into the Bible and look in the second chapter of Timothy, it gives you basic instructions on who to put in those political positions, whether it be county, state, or government. And it's whatever it is you believe. And they have the same thing, in the Muslim world and all that other stuff, in the Quran and all that stuff. And it's the same thing. It's very basic. You have someone, you put people in there, in the beginning, and they work their way up. And that's the basis I look at stuff is, you go down to the basic principles. And
now, what do you mentioned local government? Do you feel, because in local government we actually do elect the people. In local government, we get to choose by our vote who's in that office. Do you feel that we're getting good candidates in those areas?
If we're not, then it's our fault, because we do have the power to get those people in those positions, and we have a lot more control as of what the outcome is on that. Now, that being said, there's still room for error and that sort, but yes, we do, and that's where it starts at too, is molding those people in in the small positions, whether it be city council or and then to mayor and the governor and so forth. But that's where it all starts, man, and I really do believe that's where it starts, as far as
getting the right people into the offices.
Yeah, because the right people they'll flourish when they're put in those positions. Whether they like the positions or not, that's usually something else, and that's a different story. But yes.
Okay, I'm going to wrap it up here. Is there any last thing you'd like to say?
I think that's it. It'll be interesting to see how this one pans out. It'll be, I do believe that I'm not against women in power and all that. It's neither here nor there, and I think that they should be incorporated in the presidential race and as president, because there's very smart women out there, and they complement men. So it's, if you look at a basic family, what do they have? They have a mom or a husband, and a father and a wife, and they're, it's natural. So Why not keep that natural?
Well, I want to thank you. And that's our video for today.